Welcome back. Welcome back to the Build Show. Tats, Tuna, we made it, and I'm not sleeping. Hooray. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you're, well, I don't know if I'm glad you're not sleeping, but welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Mason Baker, let's go again. It is time. It's time we build another build. It's that time of the day again. I'm your host, Ben Estrina, over here at the Empower Gaming Studio, and today we're going to be building for George, who is actually building this for Bodie, his son. So, we'll be building this and shipping it out to him. Sound good? Hello there. Welcome back to the Build Show, Onra. I keep playing with words in my head. Welcome back, everybody. That's a high-end motherboard Daddy likes. Yeah, it's a pretty nice motherboard, isn't it? Well, it's not like super high-end, but it's decent. It's a Z790VAX. It's a Prime Asus. Told you we were doing an Intel build tonight. Stupid Lenovo. The Twitch notification says testing stream setup for Community Game Day. That's interesting. Let me go look at that real quick. Thank you for the attention to detail. I did correct that. So the testing stream setup for Community Game Day. I wonder how long it's been like that. That's probably been around for a long time. Probably since, what, December, mid-December? Somewhere around there. I think that's when I did that. Might even been later than that. Jeez. Oops. Are they all set up like that? Are they all pulling that same info? Oh boy, chat nerds, what's up? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Welcome back. Well, YouTube didn't. Oh yeah, big yawn coming in. So that's what happens when you go all day like this. Alright guys, so real quick, we're gonna run through the build out, and then we're gonna tackle this build. And it's about an hour, 30-minute build, so we're going to probably be wrapping this up pretty close to 10:45 to 11:15, somewhere around in that range. Alright, so the CPU we're going to be building with is an Intel Core i9-12900K. This bad boy right here. So we're staying in the 1200 series with the Intel. Lots of great cores on that. It's got 16 cores and 24 threads, a max boost of 5.2 gigahertz. It's a powerhouse of a CPU for a great price right now if you need a super nice CPU that is on the Intel family. We have a LGA 1700 contact frame from Thermalright, and then we're going to be putting that on an Asus Z790V Prime AX Wi-Fi ATX motherboard, and then we have 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 CL36, which is G.Skill Ripjaws S5 series. We also have a 2TB M.2 NVMe Gen 4 SSD by Inland. This is the Inland Performance Plus, which has 7,000 megabits read and 6850 write. So it's a very quick drive. We're going to be cooling the CPU with a Thermalright Frozen Note, which is a fantastic liquid cooler for these builds. And then we have a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. And we're going to be using an RTX 4060 for the graphics card. Really, The system is going to be used for, I think, video editing is mostly what it's going to be used for. So we don't need anything super power hungry on the graphics card side, but we wanted to make sure we had cores, RAM, and storage, which 32 gigs should be enough to do what they're doing. If we need more, we can always upgrade more, right? And we're going to be putting this all into a Montech Air 903 Max in black. So we are going to do the black 903 Max. LOL, those 12700K builds is what I did today. Oh, nice. With the B570s. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, these are great CPUs right now. Micro Center has a great deal on them. So if you're looking for a great, 16 core, 24 thread processor, the 12900K is a great option. More for application use, I'd say, than your gaming. Although you can definitely game on this, there's no doubt about that. But this is what I see. The use of this system is more for the production. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this build. We're just gonna jump right into it because, why not? Already started pretty late. Did not have the center of micro check these pins, and I hope I don't regret that. I must always check the pins. Alright, so what we're going to do is drop the CPU into the socket, and then we're going to slap our LGA 1700 contact frame on there, just like we do with our AIM-5 contact frames. Very similar tactic. That is so we can achieve this goal without damaging the CPU. Right? We're gonna pop that open. That was weird. It kind of like bit on the side of it there, and then wouldn't let me lift it back up. Kind of strange. All right, we got it. There we are. One or two builds today. We're only going to be doing the one build today. One build. Just the George Bodie build today. And then tomorrow is gonna be our B580 build. And then hopefully we have the rest of the parts for the next one that we want to do. And if not, then we'll just do an inventory build. I think Thursday's probably gonna be our only day off of the streams. So probably take a break Thursday and be back at it on Friday and Saturday. With more builds. More builds. Hey, what's up, Steve Anderson? Welcome back to the Build Show. Played The Last of Us Part 1 in 4K Ultra today with the 7900 XT, and it looked amazing, and I've never seen the game like that before. Nice. Yeah, 4K is up there. I mean, you got 4K screen resolution. That's some pretty high-end stuff. I can't even go out to go to work in my town. Has every road shut down due to the ice. I'm sorry for laughing. Yeah, when it snows and ice is here in Michigan, we're still expected to go do things. Snow and ice doesn't stop us. It's a different world here, I guess. We're just so used to it. You know, it's a normal day when it ices and snows. So that's why I always, you know, I don't know what kind of weather you guys have that we don't have here. I guess we don't have crocodiles running around snapping our legs off or trying to bite our legs. I don't know anything else we don't have. I mean, we pretty much have every flavor of weather here in Michigan. We get the NATOs, we get the hail, we get the snow. I don't know what we don't get. We get a lot of stuff here. But yeah, I know that sucks because nobody's prepared for a winter down there. Nobody's got winter tires. Nobody's got the, you know, decision to make. Hey, let's buy a four-wheel drive because we know it's going to snow. So let's buy a four-wheel drive vehicle. You know, nobody makes that decision where you guys are. Whereas here in Michigan, that's kind of a common decision that you make. And snow tires is very common to own here in Michigan, obviously. Better traction. That's definitely a huge difference. We're just getting the cooler out so we can get the contact frame for this cooler. It is a Intel socket, so we do have to get the Intel hardware. It's not going to be this. Not going to be that. Not going to be that. Need this. This. Don't need that. Right. There we are. Now, we can get the case out already. Get that installed. I live northeast part of the country. I would live in the Great Lakes. Seems like life would be amazing in part of the country, fishing, hunting, etc. Yes, there's a lot of fishing and hunting here. Hey Ben, it's Holden. The PC is the best. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, no problem. Gaming King 13. I'm glad you like it. Nice. Thanks for stopping in and telling me that. We're off building another one. Another one. And another one. And another one. When will it end? Don't know. Excuse me. I don't know that we will ever be done building. Guess one day I might retire. Hopefully my kids will keep the legacy going. Right? You do. Do, 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 do. So we've got the motherboard installed, mostly. Next up is our AIO. Get that thing installed and mounted. Technically, I should be getting those EPS cables in here first. Probably should do that. Yeah, we'll probably tackle that first. Which means I have to put the power supply in, because I don't think this is a modular... It is a modular power supply, never mind. We could slip those EPS cables in before we get this cooler installed. I feel like as soon as we rotate this, these are all going to fall out. We got USB 3, USB-C, front panel, and ARGB there, and there. Okay. We know where everything is. Hey, what's up, Tony? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Welcome to it. How's it going? We're just building for George and Bodie tonight. Building their system, their order. Okay, well, we got all these cables kind of sorted out, so we can start tackling some of them. These are just all our front panel connectors and our PWM and addressable RGB hub, etc. All of that needs to get plugged in down here at the bottom. Except for our USB-C, front panel USB-C, and front panel USB 3.0 connections that get plugged in about halfway up the motherboard. We're going to position those a little differently, but same idea. Those push through and then flip this around and start plugging everything in. Good, good. That's good. Is Tony Montana your real name, or is it from the movie Sacrifice? I think that's his real name. Might be the real Tony. I'm actually impressed this motherboard has two USB 3.0 headers on it. I did not know that. But I'm pretty impressed because it does have two 3.0 headers, which could be utilized in an Evo XL. There you go. Just an FYI. Future builders. Kind of cool. There we are. EPS cables now. I realize a lot of people change their name online. Yeah. I kept my name. So, I'm honest with my name, Ben. Or I change it to Brad Pitt or something like that. I mean, can you see the resemblance? I got a question. i5 CPU 3600K. What graphics card do you use? You could use a 4070, a 5070. You could use pretty much any card leading up to about a, I'd say, except for a 4090. A 4090 will bottleneck. A 4080 Super might bottleneck a little bit. It'll run it, but, you know, depending on what screen resolution and performance you want, you can pretty much run any card with that chip, with that CPU. You know, higher end, higher demanding, should I say, triple A, very inefficient games like Call of Duty will have a little bit of a CPU bottleneck, but yeah, 4070 Ti would be a good pair with that. 13600K is a pretty powerful chip. Got a lot of extra oomph in it. Of course, get the power supply out so that way I can get these EPS cables. This is what powers the CPU. May as well all the rest of it since we're diving into it by unpacking all this crap. CPU, here we go. What's a CPU? CPU. So we want to get these installed before we throw a radiator up there because it's going to get super cramped really fast after we put the AIO up there. That's all we got. This way. I think it's got a clip up here for the fan, doesn't it? All right, there we go. Time for the AIO. The 5700 Ti will be cool. It's so much money. It's too much money. It's not too much money. It's going to be close to the same price as the... Etc. Pretty much close to the same price there. I have a BIOS update I need already. Dang. I have thought about upgrading my 12900KS to the i7 14700K. Honestly, I wouldn't bother. I just go to the next generation. Too many issues with the 13th and 14th gen, in my opinion, to trust them. I would just stay on the 12th gen, then bounce to the next generation. BH, unless you really need that extra. Yeah, either of those cards are really nice. You could use either of them. The Nitro or the Gigabyte. Sapphire Nitro or the Gigabyte 7800 XT. Those are both great cards. Yeah, anytime anybody brings up like 13th or 14th gen Intel, I look at it as a bad investment only because, one, it's the end of the road now. And they've obviously got new stuff out already, which requires a new motherboard. So I don't really like seeing or telling people or advising people to invest in that socket anymore. But on top of that, there's, you know, too much trouble with all their i7 and i9s through the 13th and 14th generation. There's too many problems. Just not a big fan of it. It's not that I'm not a fan of Intel, it's that I'm just not a fan of that generation of CPUs they put together, which was a shit show. Hey, what's up, Corral? Wave, hope you're staying warm tonight. It's pretty cold out there. Yes, it is. And I've almost got your system ready. Almost ready. It's actually just got to finish up the benchmarking and then it's ready to go, but I've got it swapped out and the RGB is working. Had a bunch of new projects walk in on me today too, and a bunch of them get picked up. Thank goodness, because I was running out of real estate in here. I hope you stay warm as well. It was a cold one last night as well. I would go 9800X3D. Yeah, I mean, 7800 XT is better one. Got more boost clock up to 2565, 220 or 2254. What are those differences, those numbers? I understand it's the boost clock, but what is it for? What is it in comparison to? Alright, got our pump plugged in and some of our PWM fans here. Now we just got to block the CPU on top of this, block the cooler on top of the CPU. They say Nitro is better than the Gigabyte. Yeah, generally the Sapphire Nitro is one of the better cards, for sure. It's always been like that. It's just usually a bigger cooler, which means bigger cooler means you could run more power, which means you get bigger boost or higher OC. Yeah, they're usually superior, generally. It's always been a thing with Sapphire Nitro, which is why they're harder to find, because they're really sought after. If you're buying an AMD card, generally you're buying an AMD Sapphire, especially if you're doing it for the little bit of extra performance you get out of it. Stupid shit. There we are. Got all of that installed. Now we can drop a GPU in, right? Just get that done and over with and move on. Hey, what's up, Joe? Welcome back to the Build Show. Some Johnny Idiot. Been out all day with real field temps in the single digits. Here hurts to breathe. Ah, didn't make it to work. Did I make it to work? I made it to work. Did you make it to work? That's the question. Some giant idiot. Did you make it? Wilson. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Is it via phone or email to get in touch with you regarding a build? I know what kind of build I need for the games I play and what my budget is. The best way to get started on that is just go to the website and submit a custom build request. If you go to the website, which is empowergamingpcs.com, there is a thread or a link there that has a form for you to fill out. Let me go ahead and pull it up and drop the link in here for you. That is the best way to get a quote started, because it gives me all the information that I need kind of all in one place in a format that's really easy for me to understand and read, and then I can translate that for you and send over a quote. All right, I just sent the link, so that should be sent. We also lurk on Discord. Yeah, we do. We do. Thank you, Some Giant Idiot, for dropping that contact as well. The contact page will work just as well. Tony, I'm going to get an air cooler, Thermalright Peerless Assassin. That's a great cooler. Yeah, that should be fine. The PA120 is a very good cooler. It is. What's up, Joe? Welcome back to the Build Show. I think I already introduced that. But, welcome back. So, we're going to go ahead and get started with this 4060 here next. Drop this into its socket, its final resting place. And then we will get some of the power cables plugged in as well. And drop a power supply in there, do some cable management, and fire this bad boy up. Dang. I feel like we're moving really fast on this build, with all things considered. Thought it was going to take a little longer. Wilson, I'm predominantly a sim player, racing and FPS. Okay. Yeah, I've done quite a few of those builds, even though they're combos. I think the most demanding things out of there is probably going to be the racing sims. You want to have minimum input lag and some really fast screens on there. Reduce that input lag as much as possible, because less input lag makes it feel more real. Want to feel something more real? Oh, you know what? I completely missed the fact that this thing had a peel off. Feel that. What are you doing, dude? And we'll deal with the power cord after we get that plugged in. Power supply installed. Let's do that real quick. And then we'll do some cable managements. And then, I don't know. What else are we gonna do? Fire it up? Sounds good. This sounds good, yeah? Pretty good. What do you think about the RTX 5090? It's a beast of a card, and I don't really have much of an opinion until I touch it. So I gotta wait until I see it, feel it, play with it, etc. I wanna touch it before I can offer my opinion. But from what it looks like, it's gonna be the 4090 and some, obviously. Pretty sizable performance increases on it. Sizable VRAM increase, which was unexpected. I really didn't think they were going to do that, but they ended up pulling that off, so. Part of me is a little excited, and then the other part of me is not excited, because that means, you know, if we're pushing 32 gigs of VRAM being our top, 8 gigs of VRAM's probably on the way out the door. Not yet, but it's like the bare minimum basically today. They've got to make the cards more efficient, I think, in order to really gain some significant performance increases here going forward, because we're pretty much capped out at 575 watts unless you want to make the card ultra expensive. If you think a $2,000 graphics card is expensive right now, wait until you see what they want to do later, when efficiency is no longer an option. The price on these suckers are just going to keep going up. Oh, come on. He's trying to sit there and open up a Ziploc, and then eventually you say, screw it, and you rip it open. Because why am I sitting here screwing around with a Ziploc? Little Ziploc baggie fighting me. Oh boy. Yeah, over 1K in places. Yeah. How long before the first price drop? I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Those price drops. I made it, but at what cost? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I missed that. Some giant idiot from earlier. I hear you. Always a cost for everything. Brother! Brother! You better tell your boss to give you more dinner, oh? What? I'll probably get after my promotion at work. Nice. I see you're talking about the Nvidia prices. Shit, he's pissed. I'm talking a shit ton of OT perks. OT perks of being single and having kids that's already in college. LMFAO. Damn. Yeah, I've been there. Wasn't in school, but had kids and was working full time, and oh boy, still there. I had to work overtime on salary back in my day, so there was no overtime pay. It was literally just you're working overtime for free to keep your job. That was back in my day. That sucks too. Don't wish that on anybody. The amount of hours that I put into a single company is insane. I no longer work for that single company. Surprisingly. They burnt me out. That is ultimately what happened. I got burnt out. Worked too many hours and then got burned out. So with OT, there is always a certain point where you will meet, where it's just too much, and you're burnt out and you need to do something. Oh, nice. Well, if it's not during my stream, I'll come check it out. As long as I can find it. Is that what you were telling me? Is your specs for your PC that you're going to build? I thought you were still trying to choose a graphics card and stuff. That's what it sounded like. What's my Twitch? My Twitch is some giant idiot. Got it. Thank you. Some Power Gaming Computers, just like it is here on YouTube. Just over there on Twitch. I remember paying $250 for a 4-core CPU, 6th gen. Now you can get a Ryzen 5 $4,579. I feel like I'm stealing at that price. Yeah, I know, those are really great budget option CPUs. Hey, Big Tony, thank you for the follow over there on the Twitch. Thank you. I'm gonna just take it slow. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to leave the graphics card for last. Gotcha. What CPU did you? You said you had a 13600K, so you should have onboard video, so you should be able to get it to post at least. Just joined the stream. What's the build specs? Hey, Jesse, the build specs, which we're almost done with. It's an Intel i9 12900K, a Z790V Asus Prime motherboard, Wi-Fi AX motherboard, 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 CL36 G.Skill Ripjaws S5 RAM, and then a 2TB M.2 NVMe Gen 4, which is an Inland Performance Plus. It's got about 7,000 megabits read and pretty much 7,000 write, and then it's got the TLC cache on it, so it's a super fast drive, super sustainable drive when you're moving large amounts of data. And then we have an RTX 4060 in there, and we're cooling it with a Thermalright Frozen Note built into a Montech Air 903 Max in black, and we have a 650 watt power spec power supply, which is 80 plus gold. So mostly going to be used for video editing. Nothing super crazy here. We don't need any like super crazy video card in this one. Needed more CPU, RAM, and storage than anything. And I guess functionality is also a plus. We're just doing the cable management right now. And then we are going to be pretty much ready to plug this thing in and fire it up. Not much to it. Not much left here to it. Anyway. Looking pretty good. We're ready to fire this thing up. Great build, yeah. It's an excellent build here. Let's see here. Tony has some info here. My build is a Dark Flash ATX mid-tower gaming PC case, Western Digital 1 terabyte, blue SN580. It's a good drive. Gen 4. Up to 4150 megabits, yeah. G.Skill Z5, Triton Z5 RGB series, which is Intel XMP 3.0, DDR5 32 gigs, 6000 CL36, and Thermalright Peerless Assassin. It's a great cooler. The RAM's pretty good too by G.Skill. Sama 1000 watt power supply. That I would be... I don't use their power supplies very often. I think I've used them maybe once or twice. I definitely would run a load tester on that if it was here in my shop before I put it in a PC and trusted it. Ben, you know you got to turn that AIO pump around so the tubes don't block the sick mirror lens on it, lol. No, this is how I always put them in. You just kind of push these down a little bit and it should be fine. They just need to be pushed down a little bit, that's all. Intel Core i5-13600K desktop. Yep, with the Z790A Wi-Fi, which is an Asus Prime. It's basically the same board, except I think you have better Wi-Fi on that one. I'm gonna get a 13. I'm gonna get 13 RGB fans. Holy smokes! I think, Ben, when you upgrade your PC, you should do it on stream so we can see it. Yes, I will do that when I eventually get to it. Someday. I've got two CPU options selected for my PC upgrade right now. It's either a 7950X3D or it's a 7800X3D selected for my personal upgrade. Just haven't decided which route to take here. And I also have a 4080 Super sitting here, but I think we're going to throw that into a build and recoup some of the money for it before it loses value, and then we'll probably target a 580 or a 570 or something like that. I really don't need the, I really don't need the graphics horsepower. The one thing I do need is an NVIDIA card, and it's because one of the apps that I use crashes a lot with AMD. So I'm kind of forced to stay with an NVIDIA card, and it's more of a driver problem than it is hardware. And I don't know why, and it's just never been solved. So I'm probably going to stick with an NVIDIA graphics card, but I really don't need anything more than like a 5070 or a 4070 or a 4080. That would be, insane for me. Coral Reef, the 4060 looks so tiny compared to some of the other 40 series cards. Yeah. I mean, they're very efficient cards, meaning they don't draw a lot of power. So they're very low power cards, so that you don't need a massive cooler on them to cool them. There's some bigger versions of it with bigger coolers for the 4060, but you really don't need it. It's just wasting money on the card at that point. So for 4060, you just need a typical 2-fan card, and they're nice enough to to add a backplate to add some aesthetics to it, which makes it look a little cooler. It's definitely not there for the weight. I might get my wife's PC built first, or is it possible to do ours in one live stream? Yeah, if you want to do both builds in the live stream, I could do 2 builds in a live stream. I can. If you'd like, Wilson, I could do both. It wouldn't mean more money for me. It's the same amount of money if you buy it now or later for me. I would just make sure I line them up so that we're doing them both on the same stream for you, so you both can enjoy it together. The his and her combo. We could call it the his and her stream. She might not let you buy a PC without her getting a PC, right? She's anything like Mrs. Empower. 2 in 1. Yeah, we could do both builds in a single case for you if you really... No, I'm just kidding. There's cases out there that can make that happen. Alright, let's get this thing fired up. We can check it out. Already there. Really didn't expect this build to go as quickly as it did. We're at hour and 15, well, I guess right where I said it would be. Quite literally on the dot. Said it was going to be an hour and 15-ish. Maybe an hour and 30 minutes. I did. All right, let's get the side view going here. All right, since George is not here, I'm going to go ahead and nominate one of you. Tell me to push this power button, and we'll power this baby on. Jesse. You tell me when to power this baby on. Oh, 80s baby. Just subscribed. Thank you for the sub over there on YouTube. Joe, I once saw a moment, or I once saw a meme, sorry, a moment, that was a pic of a shop with a sign in a window that said an extra $2.95 will give you the receipt that matches what you told your wife to pay. What you paid for. Nice. That's a good one. Hit that power button. We're hitting it. Uh-oh. Don't see any fan action. Maybe I unplugged something. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to plug in the hub. Not want that easy for yours. Oops. You know, every once in a while I'm allowed to beef it up a little bit. Gotta keep it interesting, you know? Oh, there it is. You know, I even thought about that when I was moving the cable. You know, I'm gonna forget this. And sure as shit, I forgot it. Oh, but two of those fans are disconnected. What the heck is going on here? Disconnected. Alright, no more. No more problems. Good news is we already have a post. I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. Hello, she's a bigger spender than I am. Oh, nice. Well, then that puts you in a winning situation, right? Yeah, that's a good one, Joe. Maybe I should start charging that. For an extra $10, we'll make the invoice what you said you were buying from your wife. It's just a VGA cable for my old monitor. Yeah, it was $2,500. Needed it. Told you that's why I should have got a new PC. No, the RGB header was just a little loose. The connection. When I pushed the side panel on, the little bulge of cables on the side kind of got pulled a little bit, and then it pulled it out. So just had to go back in there and plug those in. And then the other problem was I forgot to plug in the SATA power cable that goes to the hub that powers all the RGB, and then also powers the front and rear fan. I got it. Yeah, I know. I got it. I did it. Oops. Let's game. Much better. Yeah, you can see the pretty mirror. See, Tat? I told you could. There we are. There's the side view. Ooh, look at that RGB. But we got this built, so now we just got to finish the software side of it. So PC build number 13 for Bodhi and George are complete. At least it's built. We just got to finish Windows drivers, BIOS updates, and then do the battle testing. And then this one's actually going to get shipped. So we're going to package this one up and ship it. Double box this baby. Notice that there's some styrofoam on here from the packaging. Windows 11 Pro, yes. Yep, we're going to be doing Windows 11 Pro. Joe, I see you next time. Thanks and good night. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, we're probably gonna call it here for the night. Wilson, how much does this PC weigh? The white one and this one seems light, so I'd say it's around 25-30 pounds. This PC. It's around 25-30 pounds. They seem light. They're not that light. And if we obviously put a bigger graphics card in here or a bigger power supply, the weight goes up. Anything, you know, it just keeps going up. I think the heaviest PC I shipped was like 65 pounds. And then the heaviest PC that I built and delivered was 112 pounds, and that was a full desk. It was a Lian Li DK05 with only one build in it, and it supports 2 PCs in the desk. That sucker took a lot of horsepower, manpower, to deliver it to the customer and then reassemble. It was a lot of work. Yeah. I always think Castaway when I hear the name Wilson. Same. Wilson! Wilson! I did cry in that movie, by the way, when I watched it the first time, but not the second time. The second time I just laughed a little bit. But there we are. We've got Bodhi's build done. We'll get the rest of it wrapped up here, and we'll get this thing shipped off. Hopefully by Thursday it'll be picked up by UPS and be on its way. Wednesday or Thursday. UPS pickup probably Thursday. Will a 200mm AIO cool a 12900K? Yes. I think it can. I'd prefer the 360 though. I feel like there's more real estate for cooling on the radiator than over the 280. Yeah, I mean the 280 will work. It's just I prefer the 360 on those. I have a patch on my paintball vest of Wilson. Nice. It's kind of cool that you play paintball, so do I. Do you guys ever go to the Pennsylvania field? That big, gosh, I can't remember the name of the field now. All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank, but that huge, massive paintball field down in Pennsylvania where they do the World War II games. The D-Day. Super cool place if you ever go through Pennsylvania and you enjoy paintball. 100% recommend checking that place out and playing the day, at least one full day there. Worth every penny you spend there. Oh yeah, that's our home. What? Yeah, I've played there a couple times for a bachelor party, and then the D-Day event. Skirmish paintball, that's it, yes. Blackout Protocol, yep. Yep. I was there for one of the D-Day events, and then I was there for just an all-day event during a bachelor's party. And the bachelor party was funny because we got paired up with this this corporate, I'll say Asian crew. They were getting mad at us because we're kicking their butts. They eventually requested to play against other people because they got sick of us. It was good times. It was fun. Yeah, the 240 is fine as long as you're not overclocking the CPU, especially with i5, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. Well, I think he's asking with a 12900K for a 280 millimeter. I think it's okay. I would prefer the 360 on it, but I think a 280 will do just fine. Even a 240 will do just fine with a 12900K if you have to. Just, yeah, definitely not going to be doing any overclocking on it. I want to put an AIO on the side of my King 95 Pro, but my 360 won't fit there. Yeah, no, it's only going to fit the 280 or a 240 there. Looks good. Good night, Steve. It was nice seeing you again. Thanks for hanging out and dropping in. Robert Fixit. Hello, sir. Could not join. I'm polishing one of my crappy videos. No worries, man. I just came in to make sure it was done because I am a supervisor. Thank you, Robert Fixit, aka Empower Supervisor, for following up and verifying the work was completed. It has been completed for Bodie and George. So we can move on to the next steps for the build. I go every year for about a week. Nice. Dude, I'll have to let you know when I go down there next. I don't know. I'm supposed to be going down in March, but not for the skirmish paintball. Skirmish paintball. I'm supposed to be going down there for a possibly a LAN event. I did it last year, and I'm just not so sure I'm going to be doing it again this year. It's over in Pennsylvania. Trying to work it out so that I can make it happen, but I just got so much going on in the beginning of the year here. It's just going to be hard to take the time off to head down that way. Is a i7 9700K 2060 a good starter for my daughter? Yeah. i7 9700K 2060 is great for most games today. I think the 2060 being a 6 gig card on AAA titles, you'll see a little bit of a performance issue there, but outside of that, I mean, it'll play pretty much any game you throw at it still. We'll see you on the next one, Robert. I'll bring sandwiches. All right. You know what? Just bring donuts instead. Like Krispy Kremes or something like that. That'll work. Yeah, I think the 360 on the top is a better position than the 280 on the side, Tat. I think I would prefer to see it on the cooler on the top than the side. Just because it exhausts out the top of the case versus, you know, having to deal with the intake being on the side. So you're intaking the heat right into the system. You want it to look cleaner? Yeah. Performance-wise, the better configuration is on the top of that case for the cooler. Will it handle American Truck Simulator? Yeah, I think so. I think it would. I think Truck Simulator really uses more so CPU than GPU. There's, you know, I think it's a lower GPU requirement for Truck Simulator. American Truck Simulator. I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it'll run just fine. But alright guys, that's it for me tonight. I am gonna call it a night here. I'm gonna finish up this build, and I've got to wrap up the other one that I was working on before I started the stream, which is this one behind me. The RGB one, build number 10. One that's been haunting me for the last couple days. Just got to get that one finished up. You think you ran ATS on a 2060 once? Believe it or not, I never owned a 2060. It was kind of like that weird era where we had 1060s or 1070s, and we just basically completely skipped the 2000 series, except for me. I ended up buying a 2080 Ti and then immediately went to the 3000 series with everything else. So kind of skipped the 2060. It was weird. Yeah, good night, guys. I am jumping, though. Have a good night, guys. We'll be building again tomorrow. We'll be doing the B580 build. So the long-awaited Intel B580 build that we've been talking about doing for like the last month, we're finally going to do tomorrow night. So look forward to that one. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the B580 stream. Have a good night, guys. Have a good night, Tat. Have a good night, some giant idiot. Joe, have a good night. Wilson, have a good night. Robert Fixert, Steve, all y'alls, Tony, have a good night. See you in the next one. You as well, Kurt. Have a good night.